related to the Epstein case. The Department of Justice now says it will take a few more weeks to release all the files, and the backlash is mounting tonight after the administration already missed the deadline required by law. Here's ABC senior White House correspondent Selena Wang.
Tonight, a surprise announcement from the Justice Department revealing they've uncovered over 1 million more documents potentially related to convicted sex offender Jeffrey Epstein. The department stating, due to the mass volume of material, this process may take a few more weeks to review and release the files. Sources previously told ABC News the Justice Department has upwards of 1 million documents related to Epstein. So far, more than 100,000 pages have been made public. Democrats claiming the department is violating the law for not releasing all the documents by last week's deadline. And today, outrage growing over this new discovery. Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer posting, a Christmas Eve news dump of 1 million more files only proves what we already know. Trump is engaged in a massive cover-up. The Justice Department says they need more time to redact the files to protect victims, but vowing that everything will be released in compliance with the law.
President Trump has certainly said from the beginning that he expects all files that can be released to be released, and that's exactly what we're doing.
The new documents also raising questions about why Epstein wasn't stopped years earlier. This Town of Palm Beach police report shows authorities looked into Epstein's accomplice Ghislaine Maxwell in 2001 for allegedly recruiting college students to answer phones and do office work for Epstein, saying at least 2 girls complained about Epstein touching them inappropriately. And top Democrats on Capitol Hill calling for an investigation into how this 1996 FBI tip was ignored. A child pornography complaint accusing Epstein of stealing photos of 12 and 16-year-old girls, possibly to be sold. Epstein wouldn't face criminal charges for another decade.
And let's get right to Selena Wang. She's traveling with the president tonight in Florida. Selena, some of these files mention President Trump by name. How is the administration responding tonight?
Well, Rachel, the Justice Department is coming to the president's defense, claiming that some of these documents contain untrue claims about the president, but they're not saying which ones they believe are untrue. The president has long denied any wrongdoing. Rachel?
All right, Selena, thank you. Next tonight, a devastating and deadly blast in Pennsylvania. An explosion ripped through a nursing home, killing 2 women. Dramatic images coming in tonight of the aftermath. A leveled building, twisted metal, and scattered debris. Officials are now trying to pinpoint what exactly caused the blast. Here's ABC's Nola Langhi.
Tonight, heavy machinery picking through the rubble at this Pennsylvania nursing home as authorities investigate what caused the explosion that leveled part of the facility, killing 2 and hospitalizing 19 others, including one victim officials say was resuscitated by medical personnel.
We need a rapid intervention team for the collapsed area. We have an active fire.
First responders racing to Bristol Health and Rehab Center outside Philadelphia just after 2 p.m. Tuesday. The local utility company saying it was on scene at the time of the blast following reports of a gas odor. Authorities urgently evacuating the facility's 120 residents, saying they found some people trapped in stairways and elevator shafts.
They couldn't walk. They were in wheelchairs. Some people couldn't talk. This could have been a much more serious catastrophe.
One female resident and a female employee killed. Officials initially saying a 3rd person died before later reporting that victim had been resuscitated at a nearby hospital. Late today, the coroner's office identifying that deceased employee as 52-year-old nurse and mother of 3, Maduni Dutu. Her loved ones devastated.
She was a great mother, of course, a great wife. I don't even know what to say.
Well, Rachel, public records show that nursing home was cited for multiple violations related to its facilities during an inspection back in October. The group that owns it saying they have worked to fix prior issues and will continue to do so in the wake of this tragedy, Rachel.
Mola, thank you. Tonight, a Delaware state trooper is being hailed a hero, putting his life on the line when a gunman stormed a DMV facility. The trooper shoving a man out of the way as bullets went flying. Tonight, a community is honoring his life and his final act of bravery. Here's ABC's Faith Abube.
Tonight, a solemn salute to a fallen state trooper who authorities say died a hero during a terrifying shooting inside a packed DMV in Delaware.
After being shot, the trooper pushed the DMV employee out of harm's way, and the suspect shot the trooper again.
According to investigators, Corporal Matthew Snook was working overtime Tuesday afternoon when a 44-year-old approached the reception desk and shot him.
We kept hearing the shots. It was like, I would say like 7 to 8 shots. We all got to the floor.
Police say responding officers shot and killed the suspect, but were unable to save the trooper.
I was terrified. My son heard the trooper that got shot. He heard him groaning and gurgling. So that's how close they were.
The 34-year-old, affectionately called Ty, was a Delaware state trooper for a decade, a husband and a father to a 1-year-old child. His death has shaken fellow troopers and community members, prompting makeshift memorials and tributes around the area.
A hero who saved lives today while sacrificing his own.
Delaware Governor Matt Meyer called the shooting an act of pure evil. And Rachel, a second trooper and a woman were treated for non-gunshot related injuries. Rachel.
Incredible act of bravery by that trooper, right? Faith, thank you. Ukrainian President Zelensky offering a new proposal for peace. The 20-point plan includes withdrawing some troops from east militarized zone. But the question now, will it be enough to end the war? Here's ABC's Patrick Revel.
Tonight, as fighting rages despite calls for a Christmas truce, a major development. President Zelensky saying he is ready to withdraw troops from Ukraine's eastern.
Yes. We back in the building with another podcast vlog, and this is RDP, aka Raw Dope Podcast, and I'm your host, Han 5000, and I'm Muslim, so I don't do the holidays, but season greetings to everybody that celebrate the holidays. But hey, good evening, man. I'm tapping in with you as you bring in this Catholic holiday. I'm tapped in with you, man. I'm gonna be here for a while. Shout out to the Mars Squad in the building, man. Hey, my brother in the building, Safi. Don't go to sleep, bro. You don't call me back. You don't return my call. So if I got one person that's gonna rock out with me until I hit in, my man right there, motherfucker Safi. What's good, man? What's good? So, man, come on, man. New York. The girl Nicki Minaj sat down with Erika. Kirk. If y'all don't know who Erika Kirk is, that's Charlie Kirk's wife. And Charlie Kirk was a racist, wild dude. Nicki sat down with her. Also, we got the little Durk update on Lil Durk. Charlie just put in motions dismissed. Vonnie wasn't there. And we got the Jeffrey Epstein's files. They said, man, you know, as much as the president said this and said that, boy, he in them Epstein's files. So we ready to get busy like the Bucky dads. But I'm telling you, it's 9 people in there, man. I want to really get to my topics, and I really want to get down, man. So if y'all gonna get down with me, please, man, double violate that like button, man. That's how you push this video into the algorithm. You don't gotta like me, you don't gotta like the content, but you can just like and dip. But just like this video, man, to push the video into the algorithm. Oh man, boy, I'm telling you, man, this cup right here, man, it's magnificent. You can't put a lot of ice in it though, cause it seems like you gotta really put your mouth on that cup to get what you is. So, first thing I want to start out with, man, I don't want to get into Nicki yet. The boy Epstein, man. The boy Jeffrey Epstein, a new revealing thing with the president. President been trying to put a hit out on him or some shit. Like, it's different, bro. I don't know, bro. We gonna get into the crates. It's ugly right now for the boy though. It's ugly right now for the boy. Hit that notification button, hit that subscribe button, drop a like, leave a comment. We in the building.
Latest on the Epstein files, the Department of Justice released thousands of more documents. Some of them,
and they ain't released all the Epstein's files yet anyway.
And tonight,
hey, Caesar's greetings.
Some of Epstein's survivors suggesting authorities.
What I got in my styrofoam cup, that purple stuff, it was giving me the birth stunt
from Washington.
Why look at my son?
Details in more than 30,000 pages of Jeffrey Epstein files released in the middle of the night by the Department of Justice, some mentioning President Donald Trump. In one email written during Trump's first term, a federal prosecutor handling the case of Epstein's accomplice Ghislaine Maxwell, alerting his colleagues that flight records reflect that Donald Trump traveled on Epstein's private jet many more times than previous.
Now they saying Donald Trump was traveling on Jeffrey Epstein's truck. And remember, he just said that Epstein was his little man and all that. But we're going to get busy like the Bunky Dads right now. We're going to dig in the crates of this. Let's go.
Has been reported or that we were aware. We don't want any of this to be a surprise down the road. A total of 8 flights in the mid-1990s, prosecutors said, most later made public.
Oh my God.
But just last year, Trump, who had a decades-long friendship with Epstein, claimed he was never on Epstein's plane. Another new email shows the FBI pursuing possible Epstein accomplices the day after he was arrested in 2019, asking for an update on the status of the 10 co-conspirators. But this summer, the Justice Department said there was not enough evidence to warrant prosecuting anyone else in connection to Epstein. Maxwell is the only co-conspirator ever charged. The records show prosecutors repeatedly tried to interview others in Epstein's orbit, including former Prince Andrew.
I didn't set it up like that.
Maxwell and others who are unidentified.
I will have to go out this and do it again.
Epstein trafficked her for sex with Andrew 3 times in 2001 when she was a teenager, which Andrew denies.
He knows exactly what he's done.
And newly released emails from that same year show a message to Ghislaine Maxwell from someone going by the letter A, saying they're writing from Balmoral Castle, calling it summer camp for the royal family, and asking, have you found me some new inappropriate friends? Maxwell writing back, so sorry to disappoint you, I've only been able to find appropriate friends. The records raise serious questions about why Epstein wasn't stopped years ago. This Palm Beach police report shows authorities
of course you want to know why he wasn't stopped. He's white.
Allegedly recruiting college students to work for Epstein, saying at least 2 girls complained about Epstein touching them inappropriately. And tonight, top Democrats on Capitol Hill calling for an investigation into how this 1996 FBI tip was ignored. A child pornography complaint accusing Epstein of stealing photos of 12 and 16-year-old.
They talking about 1990 something. That report. He's white. He's white. I'm telling you, if it would have been me, it would have been you or somebody, they would have said to you, oh shit, somebody put a chart, they would have locked you up. This is what the rich and famous getting away with. And he offed himself already, so it's not like he's here to take it. They trying to catch conspiracy. You know what I mean?
Girls possibly to be sold. Epstein wouldn't face criminal charges for another decade.
How can a woman be making such a serious accusation not be true and nobody looked at it? So we do ask the DOJ to do their job.
With many of those Epstein survivors angry tonight, still waiting on the Department of Justice to release all of the files it has days after the legal deadline to do so. More than 100,000 pages have come out so far, just a fraction of what sources tell ABC News could be upwards of 1.
See, this is where I get out at, right? If you was dealing with Epstein, you was out of order. Because his thing was, females under the age of 18. Honestly, that was his thing. And what makes me really be bothered by dudes like Epstein and these wild dudes, like, yo, you're a grown man, bro. You're a grown man. Like, yo, like, what are you doing with a 16-year-old? Like, how is that appeasing to you? Like, how is that interesting for you, bro? Like, how is that interesting you impressed by an inexperienced person? You get what I'm saying? A child, bro, that's still probably like, I'm a man. And a man, I tell you, yo, when you start out young, messing around with women of age, when you 16, 17, girls don't even be really knowing how to really take care of that down there. Like for like a grown man to be interested in that is sick to me, bro. Cause I'm like, bro, you older, like all these older freaks out here, you wanna, abduct and do this to children. Man, they get what they deserve, man. And I'm not a person that with death or jail on nobody. But some people deserve that. As I get older, I'm just saying, fuck it, bro. All that all for one for all shit out the window with me. Man, that type of shit, bro, you need to be put under the jail or put under the dirt. And unfortunately, he's under the dirt. May God have peace on his soul. He has to deal with his consequences. But he's a nasty motherfucker.
Billion pages the department has.
All right, Jay O'Brien, thank you for that.
And I'm not the one that wanted to see nobody get caught up in that. That's some serious shit that be having your name in, bro. Like everybody just talking about this, and this shit is just like, to me,
it's 5 a.m. I got a butt full of poop, but I can't.
So funny as shit. I want to know, bro. Like, I'm on it, bro.
Welcome to the News Hour. The Justice Department released nearly 30,000 more pages
30,000 more pages
related to the late convicted sex offender Jeffrey Epstein, including many that reference President Donald Trump. The new batch comes as the DOJ is being criticized for not releasing all of the documents by the deadline set by Congress and heavily redacting many of those they have put out. Our White House correspondent, Liz Landers, has been going through the recent batch, and she joins us now. Hi, Liz. What is in this latest release?
This is 30,000 more pages that were put up last night, taken down, and then reposted by the Justice Department. This includes photos, video surveillance, a lot of legal correspondence between different prosecuting areas that were prosecuting the Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell case. There are a few pages of this that are fully redacted, no explanation why. There's also an email that mentions 10 co-conspirators that the FBI was discussing in 2019. That is some news that people have picked up on.
Might go from this angle
Also,
now.
a few mentions of
I might go from this angle. Everybody like the angle. See, I go different angles in this joint.
Has not been accused,
you know what I mean? Hold up. When somebody give me a comment on the room, I always like to talk my stuff. I could go whatever way I want to go in this room. You know what I'm saying? We go over this wall too bad. Like I can give you the South Park angle. You know what I'm saying? Thanks, man, for the comment, man. I really put my back in it. When I cut the lights off, man, it looked like the earth right there, man. You know what I'm saying? I can go anyway. This whole thing is like a museum. You know what I mean? Yo, you know what I'm saying? It's like a museum. So, you know, and basically, I get off topic, but basically, my art in the room is just who I am as a person. And I think that every man cave should be like that. Everything that I like, I base it around. You know what I'm saying? Things I like as a kid. Of course, I like cars. Of course, I can't. I'm a convicted felon. I can't mess around with them no more. I love guns. So that's what I was going to originally do with that ceiling. Put all types of little, gun joints up there. Crazy. Make it look like the woods of that joint. I'm a hip hop head. So definitely you see nothing but the hip hop, the core. And you already know I got the lock. So you know you're going to see Bob Marley. I smoke. I want to see Bob Marley and Snoop. And all my favorite cartoons like South Park, you know what I'm saying? This shit, I got a dope ass poster, bro, with Clown Boy on there, Jason, Chucky, all them niggas. Like this shit right here, bro. Let's take it down in a big thing. This shit right here is like this right here, y'all. This is it right here. This is pretty fucking dope. Goes to show you, this right here is pretty dope. I'm gonna get this away when I hit 10K. That motherfucker hard, right? That motherfucker hard, right? That's for everybody that's got my man on there. Michael Myers. He was funny as shit. You know what I'm saying? And it's crazy because when I was little, I was scared to death of scary movies. I just could not stop watching them for some reason. I love scary movies. Like I used to be scared as shit. I used to watch scary movies, bro, when I was little. I used to be scared as shit. But you couldn't stop watching it. Like Jason, I would love watching it, but it was time to go to fucking sleep. I used to worry about that shit. But yeah, that's what I do, man. I created like I got a lot of crazy pieces. So it's gonna be crazy when I'm about to move, actually. So the new spot's gonna be crazier. Let's get back to these Epstein.
The Epstein transparency.
Hit that notification button, hit that subscribe button, drop a like, leave a comment.
All of the files and materials related to Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell. Flight logs, records, any grand jury testimony, all of that was supposed to be released, redactions to protect victims' names, but that was it. And anything related to ongoing investigations, that was supposed to be redacted. What we have seen is that not everything has been released all at once. Instead, we're seeing this kind of trickle out over the course of several days now. We've also seen names that have been redacted in some of these emails with no apparent reason why. Between attorneys, it looks like. That's not supposed to be covered up in some of these redactions. And also, we've seen that these files have been posted and then taken down in 2 instances now without explanation from the Department of Justice.
Liz Landers, thanks for staying on top of all this for us.
Jeffrey actually leaked new Epstein files. Everybody's
the FBI just.
Everybody on his ass, but we on his ass. I said, raw dope. We on Epstein ass. We on Epstein line because one thing that I hate, that I don't like about black journalists and black bloggers, we crucify our own people, and that's not the only talk. If you look at my page, almost 1,000 pieces of content. I cover hip hop. I cover hip hop, ex-convicts. I cover my city. But shout out to keeping it a G News. My brother told me get into the vlogging thing, and I have a crazy mind. So I said when I get into the vlogging joint, of course I got to cover urban hip hop news and entertainment, but I'm not gonna mix that all in my shit, bro. It's gonna be a little bit of everything because the news has everything. It's not just black people.
Documents. Our senior White House correspondent, Lena Wang.
You know what I'm saying?
is
It's
near
not just
Mar-a-Lago,
about
where the
us, bro. I
president
cover
is spending the
all
holiday
news,
week.
bro. That's
So, Lena,
why
good
that's
morning.
why I'm blogging. I'm because to cover
And Wade,
our
good morning
news
to
because
you.
I love news.
Lawmakers and some Epstein survivors are furious at the Justice Department.
They
for
released
meeting
them
with
tapes. That's
deadlines to
fucked
release
up.
these files and for heavy
Yeah.
redactions. And now these new documents are raising serious questions about why Jeffrey Epstein wasn't stopped years earlier. This morning, the Justice Department coming to the defense of President Trump after a new trove of files related to convicted sex offender Jeffrey Epstein were released, some mentioning Trump by name. The department says some of these documents contain untrue and sensationalist claims made against President Trump that were submitted to the FBI right before the 2020 election. Trump has long denied any wrongdoing, and the DOJ has not specified which claims they believe are untrue. Trump has said he and Epstein were friends decades ago, though they eventually had a falling out. One released document shows a federal prosecutor in 2020 saying Trump traveled on Epstein's private jet a total of 8 times in the mid-1990s. Now the files are renewing focus on others in Epstein's orbit. Records show prosecutors repeatedly tried to interview Andrew Mountbatten, formerly known as Prince Andrew, seen here in a newly released photo with Epstein co-conspirator Ghislaine Maxwell and others who are unidentified. Virginia Giuffre long claimed Epstein trafficked her for sex with Andrew 3 times in 2001 when she was a teenager, which Andrew denies.
He knows exactly what he's done.
And newly released emails from that same year show a message to Maxwell from someone going by the letter A, saying they're writing from Scotland's Balmoral Castle, calling it summer camp for the royal family, and asking, "Have you found me some new inappropriate friends?" Maxwell writing back, "So sorry to disappoint you. I have only been able to find appropriate friends." This town of Palm Beach police report shows authorities looked into Maxwell in 2001 for allegedly recruiting college students to work for Epstein, saying at least 2 girls complained about Epstein touching them inappropriately. Now some Epstein survivors are furious at what they say are multiple law enforcement failures and asking why Epstein wasn't stopped sooner despite some girls coming forward 25 years
I play
ago.
news clips and reacting
Been
to
through
it.
so much at this point.
That's what I'm doing, bro. I'm
And
playing
we're
news
just
clips, Byron, and
tired
reacting to them.
tired of asking
But
for
what we talked about is, Jeffrey Epstein and the rest of these creeps, right? Jeffrey Epstein and the rest of these creeps, bro, getting away with wild stuff. And then one thing about me, I'm not just about to throw a little dirt on the train and everything that's going on, or it ain't all about just Diddy. Like, you got Diddy in the news where people really hate Diddy. You get what I'm saying? But this guy Epstein was a real animal, bro. He was a real live animal, and nobody really knows how he got his money. And I'm thinking that they ain't revealed that. I think he got his money from trafficking, and a lot of important people was involved in this, and I think it's fucked up. I think it's messed up that older big, purposely white men get away with this shit. Babe. And I'm not the type that's against older men, dating younger women. It goes on. But holding somebody beyond their will and beyond their, you know what I'm saying, is out of order. And I say to the people that one thing about black people, we throw Diddy under the bus. But I'm saying they don't throw Hugh Hefner under the bus. Hugh Hefner was 75, 80 years old, messing with, college girls going, but they not, Hugh Hefner, before he died, because I used to watch the shit. He come on TV or Entertainment Extra. I used to be in jail watching Big Hugh do his thing. Entertainment Tonight used to have him on there. Big Hugh was doing his thing. Nobody called him nothing. They actually took they had to him. You know what I'm saying? They actually, when an old white man is with a young girl, they look at it like the girl winning. Real shit. They look like that, like the girl winning. You know what I'm saying? Like the girl winning. Like they let that go on. Epstein and the guys that he choose to hang around, 18 and over wasn't enough for them. How long was I in jail, man? I've been going, I'm gonna be honest with you, it's crazy you asked that. That's the first time somebody ever asked me that. I've been incarcerated numerous of times, man. The first time I ever was incarcerated, the first time I got arrested, I was 11 years old. But total amount of jail time, I think I probably did over 10 years in the Division of Correction. My first sentence in jail was 6 months. My second sentence in jail was 7 years. While I was doing the 7 years, I got 6 years, 7 months, and 24 days consecutive, which turned my sentence into closely 14 years. You know what I mean? I made parole on that joint, served a little bit more, close to 6 years on it. I stayed home for like 4 years and some change. I went back on a violation of parole, did like 18 months, came back home and got locked up in 90 days and wound up doing like 6 months. And after that, I hung it up. You know what I mean? Yeah, I got my first arrest. I got it when I was 11 years old. True story. 11 years old. I could tell y'all about that. Not to get off topic, but I always got to share a story. So ride with me real quick. Strapping on your seatbelts. And let me just show you how this is done. I was 11 years old in 1990, right? So you could do the math. You can see how old I was. I grew up in a community in Baltimore called the Park Heights community, and I lived on the Ricestown roadside. So, you know, a lot of my friends early on, you know, were failing. Through the greatness, through the cut of Allah, I never failed in school until I got to high school. And that's because I was bullshitting. But I went to a school called Green Spring Middle School. And anybody from Baltimore will tell you that. So by me going to Green Spring in 1990, this is, you know, the 89, I say this is the 1990-91 school year leading out the 80s. You know what I mean? We just coming off the, you know, the 80s. And it was rough. So we was going to school. I was a little bad. I was a little kid, little badass kid for real. So I remember going to school, and my grandmother told me to walk with my cousin and them. So I walked my cousin and them because they had been in school already, like a year before me, and a couple guys in the neighborhood had been in the school for a year before me. They was like in the 7th, 8th grade. I was fresh out of elementary school. So the first day of school, they was like, yo, we gotta go to the store and get some whistles. So, you know, back then your people was getting you $2, $3 to go to school. That was a lot of money. In 1994, 11-year-old, 10, 11 years old, you got $3, yo, you come back out with a bag of stuff. You get a big bag of candy for 25 cents. Chips was literally 25 cents. Debbie's cakes, them lemon heads and apple heads was 10 cents. Like, you $3, you doing your thing. But they had these little whistles, right? And these little teeny whistles, they were like, yo, we get these whistles and shit. So I got a whistle. So the first day of school, the crowd that I was walking with, I noticed they didn't walk the way that everybody walked. They took this cut through the woods and then got home. So they showing me the way. I'm the rookie on the squad. I'm in my first year in school. So anyway, they told us, look, we cut through the woods when we go home from school. I said, okay, bet. They like, yo, if any time an intruder in the woods, we hit these whistles and you just run. You feel me? To get out, you know, get the safety. So I said, okay, bet. One day, the whistle went off. One day, we walked to school, make a long story short, tell you about how I got arrested at 11 years old. So one day, the whistle go off. Everybody get to running. They caught me. You know, the intruders in the woods, they caught me. You know, I was always chubby. They caught me. They crushed me. And I was, as a kid, I was fresh. My grandparents took good care of me. And my father was a pretty boy. So the one thing for sure, I had to speech every morning before I went to school not to come home dirty. So dudes crushed me. My friends, cousins, and them ran to safety. So I get home a little late. So as I'm walking down the street, coming home, my father coming down the street. So I straight tell my father, like, man, I tell him what happened. He like, what? Why was you walking through the woods? I'm telling him these chumps had me walking through the woods, whatever, dad, whatever. But I never forget that moment that happened in the woods. So the next day, I told myself I'm gonna get a butcher knife up out of my grandmother's house and I'm gonna put it in my book bag. And the next time wherever I go, Ain't nobody doing me like that. And I was a little boy, so they was, we used to call older guys big boys. They had to be 14, 15. All they did was beat my body and throw me all around and, just beat me up a little bit, rough me up a little bit. It wasn't nothing that serious. It was just older kids, picking on little kids. But I took a knife to school and we was trading games one day. I was trading psych bike. I was trading psych bike for some type of game. And me and my man started playing and whatever. And anyway, make a long story short, we got the wrestling with the book bag. He tried to snatch my book bag and the knife fell out my book bag. Yo, the school was so bad. Gradesbury was so fucked up back then. I was 11 years old. Listen, bro, school started in September. I got put out of all Baltimore City public schools by the middle of October, bro. So I was only in school for 45 days. Like, man, shit. Like, I wasn't getting jumped on, bro, at a young age. I just wasn't raised like that. So anyway, when he got a knife, he like, Floyd's got a knife. And they seen me with the knife, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, bro, I'm a man, bro. Don't start playing with me, bro. I'm a man, bro. I only have to repeat that to you once, bro. Thanks for the compliment. Pretty boy face, I'm a man, bro. So don't start playing with me or I'll just get you. So you won't be unconfused. So how about you delete the unconfused message and let me finish my story or just go ahead about your way. So anyway, my grandmother, like, I basically, so they take me to the office, they handcuff me, lock me up, and put me out of all Baltimore public city schools, gave me possession of a deadly weapon, 11 years old. And I didn't go lie, when they put me out of school at 11 years old, I was confused, bro. I really was, bro. The whole process was confusing. Like, damn. They asked you why I had a knife, and I told them I was walking home from school and some teenagers, messed my book back. I told them whatever. Some teenagers beat me up. I had this for protection. They ain't care about protection. They put me out of all Baltimore City public schools. And from 11 years old, that's when I feel like it started. I'm not going to say a life of crime, but it just started because at 12, I got arrested like 3 times in one summer. But yep, I got put out of all Baltimore City public schools. And my birthday is in April. So I turned 12 and leading into that summer, man, I was down juvenile hall for like 4 or 5 cases. You get what I'm saying? You know what I mean? That's what it was. You know what I mean? What you confused about? You know what I mean? I'm talking about the topic and bro asked me, like, bro said something about what happened. I said, my first arrest was at 11 years old and bro said what happened. And I told him I got arrested for possession of a deadly weapon. And after that, it just like, I can't say it was a life of crime, but I could honestly say it was the Ronald Reagan administration, the war on drugs, the George Bush and the Clinton administration, because I was so young. To arrest an 11-year-old child in middle school was fucked up, because if I was a cop and the kid come to me and got a knife, I didn't stab nobody. I wasn't flashing the knife. The knife was in my book bag for me to protect myself at the school. You know what I mean? I caught my first gun charge when I was 14. I caught my first gun charge literally in 1994. I caught a Tech 22. So I'm saying I've been on that. We got to do what we got to do, but I didn't catch the gun charge because we was flashing a gun, a robbery, or doing something ignorant with the gun. Baltimore was rough in 93, 94. So we just had guns for protection. But the reason how we got caught with the gun, my older homeboy was teaching us how to drive. And we was on a parking lot driving, and the police pulled us over. One of us, the juveniles, was driving. Police pulled the car over, searched the car, got the gun. We got locked up for that shit. You know what I'm saying? Ronald Reagan has a lot to do with it, bro. Hey, Byron, I thought you was smart, bro. Ronald Reagan has a lot to do with it. It was the war on drugs in the 80s, right? After that, I just told you, they locked up an 11-year-old child. I was a child, 11 years old. In 1990, they arrested me for a knife in school. On top of that, man, nevertheless, seeing my father get arrested, uncles get arrested, it was like everybody got locked up. It wasn't no peer mediation. Do you think 11-year-old child that didn't harm nobody, wasn't flashing a knife, never been in trouble before? Of course you ain't been in trouble before at 11 years old. You think that was cool for them to take me out of middle school and arrest me my fucking first year of middle school, just getting out of elementary school? It was dirty politics, bro, from the top to the bottom. See, that's what you got to understand about politics. Politics starts from the top, but it hurts the bottom. So the war on drugs, they in the African-American community, they got everybody on this shit. So a black police officer Came up to school, called the fucking Northwest District Police Station. The white cops came up that bitch and took me out of fucking school, bro, and charged me, bro. They could have had the decision, no, we're not going to charge. He's 11 years old. Take the knife, take him home, and let his parents know. It wasn't none of that, bro. They locked me up, bro. So I'm just telling you, it was dirty politics. By the time got arrested the first time at 11 years old, by the time I was 17 years old, I caught a charge. They charged me as a fucking adult, bro. They charged me as an adult. Google it. Baltimore City, lost generation, bro. They started charging juveniles as grown men, bro. Putting us in grown men facilities, bro. Grown men facilities, yo. Facilities, prisons, bro. Prisons, bro. Charges going to the big boy courthouse at a young age. You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm talking about. Let's get back into this creep.
Democratic-led conspiracy that involves some of the most powerful leaders in the Democratic Party in Hollywood and in other places in big tech.
What I do now is I'm a used car salesman. I'm a used car salesman. I do content and I take care of my family. That's what I do. I'm a used car salesman. That's what I do now, man. It took me a long time, but I was on parole and probation all the way until I was 40 years old. I gave the Division of Correction in Maryland system 29 years of my life, man. In and out of jail or probation in the system. I was in for 29 years of my life, man. And I got a chance to change my life, man. With my felonies is still hard. You know what I mean? Things that I didn't know about, I'm learning now from being in and out of jail. Yes. Goddamn right. Yes. You know what I mean? In and out of jail all my life, man. And I learned, bro. I got better. So I found space with content. I found the space, bro. And I'm doing me, bro. I'm doing me, bro. I love telling my story because I survived it because, bro, I ain't never ever think I'd be over 40. I thought I'd be dead at 25. Think about it. Getting locked up at 11, being charged as a daughter at 17, and then a lot of your friends getting killed, a lot of your friends going to jail for a long time. You know what I'm saying? And you just think that it's going to be your day one day. I remember I moved to Newark, New Jersey, right? I got shot in 2004. I got shot 5 times. And it was so bad, you know what I'm saying? I was so fucked up about getting shot that I went and I was telling my mother, like, man, I need to get away until I heal. So I went to Newark, New Jersey. And I remember I had a Rest in Peace shirt, right? It had about 20 names on it. And I remember the projects that I went to in Jersey, straight gangland. Them niggas asked me, like, damn, bro, they all your dead homies on your shirt. And I'm thinking to myself at, 24, 25 years old, like, hell yeah, like, niggas die every day. But what I realized, niggas don't die every day in certain places. You know what I mean? Like, murder was, incarceration and murder and drug use was something that was normal. Tupac, one of my favorite Tupac songs, he said, smoking weed was an everyday thing in my household and drinking liquor till you out cold. Like, I remember, like, you seen Menace to Society when Kane was walking through the house. I remember days like that with aunties and uncles. And I'm not sitting up here telling you they was the baddest days. That was just what we grew up to. That was our environment. And am I hurt about my past? Fuck no. It is what it is, bro. You know what I'm saying? My mother and them, they ain't know no better, bro. I honestly could sit back and tell you, like, just being growing up then, we went from segregation to the war on drugs, and it affected a lot. It did a lot, bro. As I became a grown man and got away from the streets and got away from the ignorance and start maturing as an adult and start really seeing things what it's worth. That's why I cover politics sometimes, because I'll be like, yo, what people don't realize, that shit that happened at the top affects the bottom, bro. I promise you, bro. I promise you. I promise you. And I thought that I had the worst story. Oh, your mother got high before, your dad, this or that. You go through this shit. Go to prison, bro. I could sit up here and tell you some stories that'll make you really cry and be like, bro, you've been through a lot. But man, go to prison. You will be like, yo, my story ain't shit. Real shit. My story fucked up. But I'm talking about I done met some fucked up stories. You know what I mean? That's just how it is, bro. And I'm just telling you that from the bottom of my heart, man. You know what I'm saying? And YouTube snatched me out the algorithm. I was shining in the algorithm. You feel me? They took me out the algorithm and put me down to 2 people, but I don't care. You know what I mean? If I'd have kept talking about Epstein and that, I would have been up to probably 60 people. I'm just telling my story because the brother asked me. Byron, 5806, he asked me. No, I ain't delusional at all, bro. Like, you playing with me, bro. Like, that's what I'm saying. Why I don't like YouTube people. Y'all play too much, bro. Y'all play too much. It's nothing delusional about me, bro. It's nothing delusional about me, bro. I survived making a good life for myself, bro. You know what I'm saying? Got a nice car, nice home and shit like that. Doing for myself, bro. And I wasn't supposed to be here, bro. I wasn't supposed to be here. My story is deep. You know what I'm saying? I'm a man and I'm proud of my story and I'm proud to be here to tell my story. So I don't care what nobody think or say because you don't know me. Bro, I never had sex with a man either, bro. And I got you blocked. You're a bitch ass nigga. Cause you just play too much, bro. You're a coon, bro. I know you ain't never been to prison, bro. That's why a prison nigga will fuck you. Literally. Shorty was all right, man, until he got the flag. Wow, that's a lot of people. Yeah, I lost there's a lot of people, bro. Baltimore, bro. New Orleans, bro. A lot of places, bro. It happens, bro. Wake up one day, bro, nigga gone, bro. And I lost a lot of friends and family, bro. I lost my brother, my mother's son. It gets like that. In my town, murder happens so much that it's bound to be one of your people one day. That's real. I'm from a city where it's bound to be murder bound to happen in your family. It's gonna happen. Everybody I hang with, everybody that's close and tight to me, bro. My closest friends, somebody been murdered in their family, from fathers to mothers to aunts to uncles to siblings, like grandmothers. You know what I'm saying? Grandmothers, bro. You feel me? Grandmothers. I done been locked up with dudes telling me that their grandmother got murdered for shit that they did. I've been around, bro. Hit that notification button, hit that subscribe button, drop a like, leave a comment. I didn't mean to get off topic, but when people ask me questions, I like to get into it.
And that's kind of what got the ball rolling. And Donald Trump adopted that as a campaign platform in 2024, promising that these files would be released. And then Donald Trump got elected, and the Department of Justice handed out over the summer a kind of a half-hearted effort to release all these files. And that's when you saw the survivors come in and seize on this opportunity, say that this is not enough. We have been begging for this for the better part of 3 decades. And now we see an opening where it has gotten the consciousness of the average American who hadn't paid that close attention to it. And they were able to tell their stories as the real victims of this situation. And from a political perspective, regardless of whether or not you are a Republican or a Democrat, you could not stand in the way of that momentum going forward. And once Ro Khanna and Tom Massey got to the point where they got enough signatures on that discharge petition to go around Republican leadership and get this bill on the floor,
one thing about it, the Congress is mad because they didn't release all the Epstein's files like they were supposed to do in 30 days. So we're going to dig in the crates with that. But like I said, like to get back on topic, I think Jeffrey Epstein's a wild boy. And I think a lot of those rich white men, wild boys, you get what I'm saying? It took them a long time to really get down to the nitty gritty with that. And all I just be wanting people to understand and know that it's been going
Nicki
on
Minaj
since the
just
daytime.
make the biggest gaffe ever?
You have a.
Yeah, let's go.
Do you
know what I mean? Hit that notification button, hit that subscribe button, drop a like, leave a comment. You heard me. Yeah, they pushing me out the algorithm. They ain't mad at me. It's cool, though. Think we broke it.
Nicki Minaj just make the biggest gaffe ever?
You have amazing role models like the assassin J.D. Vance, our vice president.
She called J.D. Vance an assassin in a conversation with, of all people, Erika Kirk, whose husband Charlie was assassinated just 4 months ago. The singer realizes her blunder and looks mortified. But Erika gracefully brushes it off.
Trust me, there's nothing new under the sun that I have not heard, so you're fine.
It was a surprising pairing at the Turning Point USA conference.
Hey!
The rapper, whose songs are often R-rated, leader of a conservative Christian movement.
I love this woman. She's an amazing woman.
Meanwhile, Michael Jackson's family is blasting the Trump administration today for linking the pop star to Jeffrey Epstein. A photo of Bill Clinton with Michael Jackson and Diana Ross is among the Epstein files just released by the Department of Justice. It was reposted by a Trump
They put my
spokesperson
man
with
Mike
the
in
caption,
this.
"Here is a picture of Bill Clinton with his arm around Michael Jackson and dapper
Man, Mike in this.
individuals."
They crazy.
But it turns out the photo was taken at a 2003 Democratic fundraiser. And those aren't Epstein victims. They're actually Michael Jackson's kids, Prince and Paris. And that other kid is Diana Ross's son. Jackson's nephew, Taj, is claiming the White House is part of a smear campaign against his late uncle. The Justice Department is facing criticism for heavily redacting the Epstein files. 500 pages are totally blacked out.
There's no effort to hold anything back because there's the name Donald J. Trump or anybody else's name. We're not redacting the names of famous
Assalamu
men
alaikum.
and women that are associated with Epstein.
SNL poked fun at all that black ink.
We had to redact a few sensitive things, but you'll get the gist here.
No, I'm on YouTube also. So I tapped in and I seen the sister when I was scrolling through Bigo. So I said it just be the Muslim in me to stop by the sister channel and show some love. We talk about the Jeffrey Epstein files, the ignorance of the Caucasian man that gets to do anything on planet Earth when they always trying to crucify some of our great leaders and things of that nature. So I indicate to the people that, you know, when we speak about men of Jeffrey, like Jeffrey Epstein, you know, don't forget about Hugh Hefner. Don't forget about college girls gone wild. These men been performing these heinous acts for years and years and years. So now they on the news making, you know, a big thing out of it. So what made me jump to it as a young journalist, excuse me, as an older journalist, I call myself an unorthodox journalist because it's unorthodox the way I do things. So because I do things that way, I said, well, it's millions and millions of people that's crucifying the brother Diddy. Now, I'm not telling you that Diddy was right. I'm saying Diddy is serving his time in prison. He's doing his punishment. What I'm saying is that if a man goes to prison, first and foremost, we seen what he did when he put his hands on a woman. And that woman suited up with lawyers and they settled out of court for a large amount of money that will be life-changing to any of us. After that, he was his houses was raided. After that, he was indicted. After that, he was incarcerated. After that, he was held without a bail. After that, he was found guilty on a man law. And he served 50 months. After that, he lost all his endorsement deals and everything that happened to him. He faced his punishment like a man, and then he didn't take nobody with him. But they got him on the news every day trying to bomb him more and more and more. But then you got sleazeballs like this, Jeffrey Epstein, who took the shortcut out. He killed himself. You know what I'm saying? You got dudes like Harvey Weinstein, and I look at black media and I say, why is this not important to y'all? But every time one of our people, you know, do something, we're covering this for views and likes. So me as a journalist, I like to cover everything, especially those with not the same melanin as me. So that's how I feel about it. And that's just my take on it. And let's get back to Nicki. Let's get back to Nicki. Hit that notification button, hit that subscribe button, drop a like, leave a comment. And that's just how I really feel about it. Real talk.
Nicki Minaj made a surprise appearance at a gathering of conservatives in Arizona. The rap star was interviewed at Turning Point USA's America Fest convention by Erika Kirk, the widow of Charlie Kirk, about her newfound support for Trump, despite having slammed him in the past.
The utmost respect and admiration for our president. He has, I don't know if he even knows this, but he's given so many people hope that there's a chance to beat the bad guys and to win and to do it with your head held high and your integrity intact. He's from Queens, New York, like me. So, but what it's shown me personally is sometimes, you know, even in the worst feeling times in your life, you think that you're never going to come back from it, but you do. And our president shows that. He's been through every single thing a person could be through publicly. Having to constantly be lied on. It's not really that funny until you are in that person's shoes that's being lied on. You'll never understand what it feels like. That person is a human being. They have a family who has to read those lies. And that's not, and it's just not fair.
We want to bring in our panel tonight so that they can weigh in about these speeches that we just heard. Mr. Bolden, how does rhetoric like this move from conference stage to parts of everyday life?
Well, we need to go back to the height of ignorance again.
Yeah, that's up. Nicki out of order for this. You know what I mean? She out of order for even getting on that stage. Honestly, Nicki Minaj is out of order for getting on that stage. I can't believe it. I can't believe it. You know what I mean? I can't believe it. Nicki Minaj is crazy. You know what I mean? I can't believe it, bro. That's different. You know, Nick shouldn't have did that. Nicki Minaj is crazy. You know what I mean? I can't rock out with that. You know what I'm saying? You know, just being a black woman and getting up there. You know, I don't see nothing bad, right? With, you know, people believing in what they believe in. But if you listen to Charlie Kirk, you feel me? If you listen to these people and you say, Nicki, why would you get on stage with the man wife who is racist? I can't believe it. I couldn't believe it, bro. So many people hit me on X and hit me, hey, what you think about this? What you think about this? I think Nicki Minaj is a fucking fool. You know what I mean? Hit that notification button, hit that subscribe button, drop a like, leave a comment. But Nicki Minaj getting on stage with I'm on not YouTube, I'm on YouTube, but I'm also on Instagram. So YouTube, my YouTube audience, excuse me if I be looking down at the screen, but we talking about Nicki Minaj right now. Nicki Minaj sat down with Erika Kirk. And if y'all just tapping in on Instagram, Erika Kirk is Charlie Kirk's wife. So I know a lot of y'all don't dig knee deep in the crates, but I'm gonna dig knee deep in the crates for you. Raw Dope stands for the rawest and dopest interviews on the planet. And our cardinal rules is no fuck shit, no fake shit, no foolishness. But something that I started maybe almost a year ago was the Raw Dope vlog. So on vlog, I cover news, entertainment, a little bit of politics, urban community development. So that's the nerd in me. I get with my geek squad, and you know what I'm saying, we do this. So Nicki Minaj gets with Erika Kirk. Erika Kirk is Charlie Kirk's wife. If you don't know who Charlie Kirk is, he's an ignorant, racist, you know, Caucasian guy. You know what I mean? Listen, man. Hey, listen, hold up. Hit that notification button, hit that subscribe button, drop a like, leave a comment. YouTube pushing me out the algorithm. I went from 20 some people watching to 0. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna cut this screen short, and if you tapped in and you look at this and you hit the screen, please go over to Rado Podcast on Instagram. No fuck shit, no fake shit, no foolishness. Anything you say can and will be used against you on the internet. They'll push you out the algorithm when you talk about certain things. Certain people don't want to hear certain things, and this is something that bothers me a lot about the culture. We pay attention to the wrong thing. I'm just telling you, if you ever seen the Transformer movie, if you ever seen the